again with me, Romi Fauzi, in another exciting tutorial on how to create a platformer with Unity and Playmaker. So, in this episode, I'm going to show you how to create how to deploy our project onto an Android device. So, in order to do that, we will have to create a GUI first for handling the movement, also jumping and shooting. So let's do that. First of all, I'm going to move our camera further from the character so we can see the scene better. So I'm going to choose our main camera, go to the Playmaker, and under the platform 2D camera actions, I'm going to change its distance to maybe around 15 or maybe 13. I'm going to try it. I think this is better. So okay, going to save the scene. Okay, in order to deploy our project onto our Android device, we will need to download a couple files first. First of all, we need to download an SDK here. So for example, scroll down to the bottom of the page here, and then you can choose to download the Android Studio. This Android Studio includes the SDK that we needed for exporting to Android device. But if you want to only download only the SDK, you can do that also by scrolling to the bottom of the page here and download this one. Okay, so this is the address, and I'm going to put the address on our on the description in this video. And second, you will need to download the Java SA Development Kit 7. So here is the address. I'm going to put it also on our link. And then I've downloaded this the JDK 7U79 Windows x64.exe. So this is the file that I've already downloaded. And here, let me show you that I've already downloaded both of this file. I've downloaded the Android Studio bundle, but you can also only download the SDK version. So first, we will need to install our Android Studio bundle here. So I'm going to install this. So okay, I'm going to run this. So yeah, the installer is already started. So I'm going to go through. Okay, it cannot detect our Java, so I'm going to run our Java first. So okay, yes, I'm going to run this. Install. Okay, and then we need to create next here for our Java runtime. So when you finish install, it will say that successfully installed Java Development Kit update. So okay, I'm going to close this, and then I'm going to go back and click next. So okay, it's already working. Apparently I just have to restart our install here. So I restart it, and I'm going to go next here, and then I'm going to install all of it. Okay, I'm going to click next here, and I'm not quite sure, so I'm going just to use the recommended value here, settings, and just click next. So we already finished our Android Studio setup. I'm going to finish here, and then the next thing we are going to need to run the Android SDK tools. It's under the Android folder, I think. So let me check it first. Android, oh sorry, under the 32-bit folder. I think it's under the my user. So under user, okay, here under local Android, and under our platform tools, or let me check for a while. Okay, here we have a SDK manager, so we need to run this, and then it will open this window here, and we are going need to install a API here. So I recommend maybe install the Android 4 API. So here choose the all of the folder here, and you will be able to build. Okay, so let us install, accept license, and then go install the SDK here. Okay, so here we already download all the package that we needed for deploying. I choose this packet and make sure SDK tools and platform tools here, a couple SDK tools here already installed. And then I forgot to mention before, but make sure under extras that we already have a Google USB driver and the other Google repository Android support this stuff. But most importantly, this Google USB driver and our API here and the platform and SDK tools. So okay, after done, just close our SDK here. So okay, after we finish the SDK installation, go back to our Unity and go to edit preference and set our SDK location. I've already set mine here, and as you can see, just click here and browse to the SDK folder. It's usually under the username, app data, local, Android SDK, and select that folder. I've prepared the GUI I've already created here under sprites, and here is the file. So I'm going to change this to a sprite to the GUI, and then I'm going to change the sprite mode to multiple. So I'm going to edit this under our sprite editor here, and then I'm going to slice using automatic slice here. Okay, but I'm going to make this bigger. So I'm going to push this here. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to, yep, I think that will do. Then I'm going to click apply. So we have a jump. Sorry, I'm going to change the name, this one here, to jump. Why cannot I type this? Okay, jump, shoot, and this is for directional. So I click apply. Now we are going to create the GUI for our control, touch control in our scene here. And at the moment I'm still using sprite. I don't use a canvas or the new Unity UI because I cannot figure out how to create a touch and release event. So I'm going to create a more traditional FSM, a traditional system. Okay, so here we have our camera, and I'm going to create a sprite. This is our GUI directional, and I'm going to use this directional and make this object as a child object of our main camera. And let's move this. Okay, so there, as you can see, we have the GUI already shown in our camera. Make sure it's very near to our camera here, so it doesn't get occluded with the other object in our scene here. And then, because it's too big, we have to scale this down. So I'm going to scale it around 20%, and I think the size is quite right for our scene here, and it will follow our screen. So if we change this, it will follow the camera. So okay, so now I'm going to change this name to up GUI, and then I'm going to add a box collider 2D. So I've added the box collider 2D here, and it's already matched our UI here. Now let's do the other button here. So just duplicate this 4 times, and for the second one I'm going to rotate this to 90 degrees on the Z axis and make this the right button, sorry, the left button. So this is the left GUI, and I'm going to change this value to -90 on the Z axis rotation and align this and change its name to left GUI. And the last one, I'm going to rotate the Z axis to 180 and move it to the opposite direction of our up button here. Okay, so and then I'm going to add a jump and shoot button here under our camera and make the button to be the camera children. So I'm going to copy the transform of our, I haven't renamed this one yet, so I'm going to rename this to the right GUI and the other one to down GUI. So I'm going to copy the value from our transform from the GUI that we already set up here. So I'm going to copy one of the value, copy component, and then I'm going to paste component values here. So we have this button is aligned with the other GUI, and I'm going to move this to the side here and maybe scale it down more. Okay, and then I'm going to duplicate this button here, and this is for shooting. So the other one for jumping and the one is for shooting. So this is a shoot button and this is a jump button. We are going to need to add also a maybe circle collider, and for this one also a circle collider, yeah, 2D. So I'm going to save the file first and then go to our game manager. Here we already have an FSM. To our game manager we have a input FSM that treats our input, managing our inputs to feed to the axis, horizontal axis and vertical axis. So now we are going to disable this FSM and we are going to create a new FSM, and I'm going to rename this to input touch. So we are going to need to create a couple event. First I'm going to create a event up pressed and then left pressed. Sorry, I'm going to capitalize the left word, pressed, and then right pressed, down pressed, and then jump pressed, and the last one is shoot pressed. So we have already created all the event that we need for the transition. I'm going to create a couple state here. So this is the reset state where we reset all the values that we've altered here, and this is the state that we are going to change the horizontal axis or the vertical axis, the other state here. So the second state I'm going to name this to go right. So I'm going to add a set float value here, and I'm going to change float variable to the horizontal axis and then change its value to 2.5 and make sure it's every frame. And then I'm going to duplicate this I'm sorry, I'm not going to duplicate this one, but I'm going to create our touch event. So I'm going to use a touch object to the event here, but I'm going to change the game object target. So I'm going to drag right GUI object to this game object slot here, and under touch began I'm going to choose right pressed. So I'm going to add a global transition to our go right state and add the right press transition here, and then I'm going to copy this touch object to the event and paste the action here. So, and I forgot, I have to create another event called reset, and for our first start state here I'm going to add the global event reset. So on our go right state I'm going to transition back to our reset upon ended or cancelled. So set both of this event to reset. Okay, so I'm going to try first here. Let's see if it's working. It's working, but something is wrong. Okay, I know what's wrong. So we already alter our float value, but here we didn't have anything. We only have a touch event. So here I'm going to copy the set float value here, and upon reset here I'm going to set the value back to 0. Save the scene. I'm going to check it again. So there, as you can see, we can move to the right, but I cannot go back to our left because I haven't defined upon left press or left touch. So let's do that. We can just simply copy the state here. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to change its name to go left, and here I'm going to change its value to minus 2.5, and under touch object to the event, I'm going to change the game object to the left GUI, and under reset I'm going to copy this touch object to the event, and this is the right GUI. I'm going to change this to the left GUI, and here upon touch begin I'm going to change it to left press, and change this global event under go left to the left press. So now we can move to the right and to the left. Let's do for climbing, up button pressed. So change this to go up here, and change the transition also to up pressed. Okay. Under the game object of the touch object to the event, drag our up GUI and put it there. And for the set float value, change our float variable to the vertical axis and leave the float value to 2.5. And then under our reset condition, I'm going to duplicate this float value here, set float value, and this one is I'm going to change it to vertical axis. So when we release each of this button, it will go back to our reset state, and it will zero out our horizontal axis or vertical axis, so it will stop moving when we release our finger from the touch GUI. So okay, I'm going to make sure here this is already right, and this is the up GUI. Okay, so let's copy this touch object to the event here and change this to up press, and for the game object I'm going to drag the up GUI here, and now we are going to create the down press. So here change the transition event to down press. I'm going to rename also this state here and change its value to minus 2.5, and for the touch object to the event I'm going to change the down GUI here, and then under reset I'm going to copy paste this one, and I'm going to drag our down GUI as a game object, and then I'm going to set the event to down press instead of up press. So now we've already created our basic system for modifying our horizontal and vertical axis using the touch control here. I'm going to save the scene, and now we need to create other event here for shooting and for jumping. So let's create a new state here, and this is for jumping. This is for jumping, and I'm going to add a global event jump press, and then I'm going to send event and I will have to check if the character jump system, the jumping event is a global event. So okay, jump press is not a global event, so I will have to change this transition to a global event. So let's check jump press, and then I'm going to disable the jump button down here, or I can leave it, but later if you want to deploy this to Android, it's better to disable this one. So let's leave this on. Go back to our game manager here. So first of all, we need to change the event target to game object FSM and the game object specify game object, and drag our character to that game object. Choose the jumping event and choose the jump press under the send event, and then I'm going to add a next frame event, and I'm going to go back to reset. Okay, let's try this, see if it's working. By the way, I've already connect a phone via the USB cable, and I've already installed a Unity remote APK from the Play Store. You can use the Unity remote 4, I think it's Unity remote 4, it's called Unity remote 4, and connect it before you start your Unity, and make sure that you've already installed SDK and already set the SDK path here under SDK location, otherwise it won't work. So you will have to install the Unity remote, start it on your phone, connect it to a PC, and then start your Unity, otherwise it won't work. So as you can see here, I can move to the right and I can move back to the left. I'm going to minimize all the gizmo here so it doesn't show our gizmo, and I can move and I can, okay, there seems to be a problem. Oh, okay, the jump is not working yet because we already set our state here, but under here, under the reset state, we haven't set a touch object to the event for jumping. So I'm going to copy this event, and then I'm going to drag our jump button as a game object, and then upon touching, I'm going to go to jump press. So let me try for a while just to make sure. There you go, and the character can jump. There, and it can climb. So as you can see, it's working nicely. So let's create our shooting event. I'm going just to copy this jumping event and change this to shooting, and then I'm going to choose our weapon system, and let's see under our character and under our weapon FSM. Okay, we have a fire state here and we use a get button down. So I'm going to disable this get button down, and then under event I'm going to set the fire event to be a global event. So go back to our game manager then, and let's create another touch object to the event for shooting. Here I'm going to change the game object to the shoot button, and then on touch begin I'm going to choose shoot press, and let's change this transition to the shoot press. Under shooting, we are going to send the event to fire. So right now we can shoot. So we already create the GUI for our system here, and let's try it again. So I connect the device here and I try to move. It's working and we can jump. Okay, so it seems the shooting is working, but we don't see the muzzle flash here. So there must be a problem over here, so let me check. Okay, so I found a problem here. So basically after activate the game object, we already set a wait action, and after a certain time fire rate, we send the finish event back to finish, so it back to our first state. But here under our game object compare tag, we also send our false event to finish. So after the weapon or our characters try to recast, and when the game compare object is game object compare tag is false, it send the event right away to finish, so it will ignore this wait. So that's why we cannot see our muzzle flash. So I'm going to change the false event back to none. Let's save the scene here and let's try it again. So there, as you can see, we can shoot and we can jump, but the problem is when we try to when I tap on the screen but not on the button, it starts to shoot because we've set our shoot using the fire one, and usually fire one is also left click is also a fire one. So by tapping on the screen, Unity registers it as a left click. So I'm going to disable this get button down here. Okay, save our scene here, and then I'm going to try it once again. There you go. So I can tap on the screen and it will not fire, and I can shoot. So let's jump here and let's try to shoot our enemy. There you go. Okay, so I think it's working. I just want to tweak our muzzle flash a bit. So here we have a activate game object, but we have set it that on exit it will reset our state here. So I'm going to disable that, uncheck, and then I'm going to copy this activate game object, and then I'm going to go to our first state, and here I'm going to disable our muzzle flash, and then I'm going to copy our wait action here, and then I'm going to put this also to our third state here. So if the raycast doesn't hit the player, it will wait. Doesn't hit the enemy, it will wait the fire rate to finish and go back to the first state. But if it hits our enemy, and it will go to our third state, and it will send the enemy hit event, and then it will wait also our fire rate before, and it will finish. So this way we cannot shoot the weapon too rapidly. There is a time between each of the shot, and we can shoot our enemy and we can see our muzzle flash. There you go. So I think it's already working nicely, but there is a problem actually. If I try to run and then at the same time I want to jump, I cannot do that. The problem is we've already set our touch event here under game manager, input touch, and we've set our all of our input touch in this one event, and that is a problem. We should separate our directional press touch with our jump press and shoot press. So I'm going to copy our input touch here, and then I'm going to paste this as a new component. Okay, now I'm going to go to our second input touch, and this is for input shoot and jump, and I'm going to delete all of this state here, the go right, the go left, and the go down. and I'm going to delete all of this touch object to the event that has an exclamation mark here. So let's delete all of it, and I'm going to also delete our set value here. So I'm going to leave our second state only with jump press and shoot press. Then I'm going to go back to our input touches here, and I'm going to remove our jump press and shoot press. So I'm going to set this is only for our directional movement, and under reset I'm going to delete both of this error action. So by separating our directional touches and our jump and shoot, we can do that simultaneously, so we can jump while we are running. So hopefully this is working. Okay, I'm going to try to run from here, and then I'm going to jump. There you go. We have a nice, oh, I think there is a problem here. So, okay, let me try it again. There is a problem if we press, I'm going to try it on the most upper ledge here. It's working. I don't know why. What seems to be the problem there? It's working. Yeah, maybe my device is too small, so it's a bit hard to touch the directional pad here, but actually it's working nicely. So yep, so we already have a touch GUI setup. So right now we can simply deploy our project. So I'm going to save the scene first, and then I'm going to save our project. So okay, now before we are going to export this to an Android device, we have to make sure that under our ladder climbing FSM, on the on ladder state here, make sure we add a float compare, and we are going to compare our vertical axis, global vertical axis, to a value of 0 with tolerance 0.5, and if it's not equal, either less than or greater than, send both to climb. So this will substitute our get key down action here. Instead of using a keyboard button, we are going to check our vertical axis, because our touch GUI are modifying our vertical axis. And under our ladder raycast FSM, here we need to add this float compare. Just copy the previous action, the action from the event from this from the ladder climbing here, copy the selected action, and then paste this here, but only when it's less than, and send to the press down event transition. So it will go to our next. So it will substitute our get key down here with our touch GUI, and here under raycast down we have this up arrow press, and it will send to press up. So here we are going to paste the float compare down, but under greater than transition we will send to press up. So that is all we need to create a working system with our touch GUI with our ladder. But somehow in my device, because the screen is too small, it's quite hard to do that. So probably it's a design issue. So I will recommend you create a better GUI, or maybe a bigger HUD, a bigger GUI, so it can be easily pressed. So okay, I'm going to save the scene, and to export this project, first I've deleted the Photon Unity network folder, the one that comes with Playmaker, because with that folder we cannot we have a error, console are sending an error that it has some sort of system exception with system net socket, and we need an an Unity Pro features. So I've deleted the Photon Unity network folder, just delete that, and under project settings and player, make sure that we already fill our bundle identifier version and bundle version code here, and this is the format of the bundle identifier. So it's start with a com dot our studio name and dot our product name here. So this is tutorials from this here, and actually I've already written my studio name here, but I don't know why it's getting reset back to default company, so I'm going to leave that. And I think the other is already okay. Well, if you want to release a release APK to upload it on the to Play Store, you will have to create your key store here, and you can Google on how to create a key store. So basically this is all what you need to set up, and then to send to your phone, you can go to the build settings, and first you will have to click this add current. So what this will do, it will add our current loaded scene here to the scenes in build, and this is 2D platform physics mecha 2.unity, so it already adds my scene because I've already tried before add current. And then just click build and run. It will ask where do you want to save your APK, so I'm going to save my APK here, test.apk. Then I'm going to replace the file, and it will compile our project. And after it finishes compiling our project, it will make our device automatically to run this application on our device, and you can try it right away. So I'm going to cut this recording, and I will show you on the device using my camera. So now, as you can see, our apps already deployed on my Android device, and it is working correctly. We can move sideways to the right or left, and we can also jump. And we can also climb the edge. And I'm going to try the ladder. So as you can see, the ladder system is working nicely. And let's try to shoot our enemy. Okay, there you go. Okay, so if you like this, you found the tutorial useful, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.